mine gave me a saying once. The problem is always between the chair and the keyboard.
Yes, it's called PEBCAC. Problem exists between keyboard and chair.
There we go. Yeah. So it started. It started. Problem exists between keyboard and chair. Yes. I didn't know about the abbreviation, man. Thank you for enlightening me on
Yes,
that.
sir.
All right. So I guess we're starting this, right?
Yes, sir.
All
Here
right.
again to talk about business agility.
Talk business agility. Yeah. And I was telling you earlier that I actually prepared something. It's a small roadmap. I tried to kind of figure out what would be useful for people to get oriented on what is elite agile coaching and what is business agility coaching basically. And yeah, it's a framework, diagnostic, and roadmap, right? So I wanted to keep everything really really light, and definitely I wanted to use this opportunity, Manny, to get like a first criticism on this, the first live criticism.
Actionable feedback. Actionable feedback. Let's call it that.
Actionable feedback. But I think people are or people should um, search for critical feedback, not destructive feedback, but I think it's good to be open to get people to tell you what's wrong, because otherwise you won't be able to iterate and improve. And I think it's part of the emotional maturity that people have to get something out there very fast, fail fast, and not have it hurt their ego.
Hmm.
Because that's the thing. The work that you do, in a sense, doesn't have a lot to do with you. It's it has a lot to do with the value for other people, right? So if you do something, just be prepared to share. Just don't keep it in
Yeah.
your desk drawer for
Any
five
leader
years.
who thinks any leader who thinks it's about themselves is not really leading, missing the point.
True. And especially any agile coach that thinks it's about themselves
Yes.
is also missing the point. So yeah, so basically I try to kind of in a very short way, like show people how do you think about business agility in general, but how do elite agile coaches think about their role and their place in the organization. So I think that this is key. Like these two sentences are key. Most agile coaches are good at agile. So what do I mean by good at agile? They understand Scrum, they understand some Jira, they understand some Kanban, they can look at flow maybe once in a while, right? But I think that elite agile coaches actually are great at business agility. So that's, in my opinion, that's the key difference. Like you don't only understand something in the Scrum guide or uh, you know um, love a method until to death. You just start thinking in business terms, and this is also key. It's not about certifications. It's not about the framework. It's about results. So, what I encourage everybody to do is to look at return on capital. I think I explained return on capital last time or 2 weeks ago. But what does it mean? Well, it means look at the capital expenditure that your company has put into the product, right? And aim for a 10x return. So there are a few things that make this a little bit of a complex calculation, because for example, capital expenditure is not something that you consume immediately. It's something that you consume over time. So for example, if you invest in a product for a year and that product is estimated to last for 5 years, the capital expenditure will be split by 5. So basically, if you spent, let's say, 500K to deliver a product in a year, maybe a million in a year, and that product has an estimated life cycle of 5 years, basically your capex your capex is 100, it's 200K per year, right? So the question for you as an agile coach is, how can we as a team, business plus IT, right, business agility, how can we as a team create a 10x return on that? How can we make sure that by the end of those 5 years we extract 10 million worth of value, right? So 2 million per year. And that's actually where business agility starts to become real, because you no longer wait for a year to actually release your product. You start thinking in terms of customers. You start thinking in terms of how can we, in the first 3 months, get proof that what we're doing is actually needed by the market. How can we, in the first 6 months, get to a break-even point, right? And these are questions that unfortunately most agile coaches don't ask, right? So of course 10-to-1 return on capital is not necessarily easy. I personally am still working towards that, right? It's good to say, but the reason why it's fun, it's because it's hard to do, man.
Okay, start out with 10, and if you get to 5, at least you have something, right? You have a bar, but at least you're progressing in that way.
Exactly. So there was a guy that once said, abs are valuable not because they look nice, it's because they are hard to achieve, right? So that's what I recommend agile coaches to do. Strive for hard.
Agile coaches.
Yeah, get the abs. No, but strive for hard things to do, and you'll get rewarded for that. So if you can start thinking in terms of return on capital, even if you can start to think in terms of value to cost, then I think that you'll be ahead of 9 out of 10 coaches out there. It's just the way it is.
I like this focus on outward and the business acumen. As an agile coach, I've always coached teams to improve in a way that'll help more value flow through the system. So for me, my focus is always reducing the cost of development, which would implicitly be more profit to the company, right? That is something I always felt I could control, as opposed to the client, the market, or the product development.
I know. But that's the fallacy that most business leaders have. Like it's not only you as an agile coach, it's also business leaders. So if you have a really good marketing and sales leader, then this is actually really good. But truth is, most people suck. I'm sorry to say that, but most people suck, and that's why people always say, cost, you can control cost. Well, no, you can't. No, you can't, unless you have good people. I mean, that there's a saying that the trend of firing people that were replaced with AI is actually shifting back.
Yes, I'm starting to read some of that online, that the pendulum for excitement has swung too far. And they realize, maybe we need some of these people that we used to call valuable.
Yes, and basically, like the problem with companies and business leaders, and this is useful for agile coaches. The problem is that they strive for cost efficiency by neglecting quality. And then when quality really hits them hard, they swing back and they spend actually more than they ever saved. Unfortunately for the business, right? So anyway, what I'm trying to say is get in there, understand marketing, understand sales, right? Understand what makes a product successful, understand customer adoption curves, right? Understand market rhythms, understand how you can position, understand customer segmentation. These are really important things that in my opinion an elite agile coach should know, right? Because it's part of business agility, right? Like the lifeblood of a company is the money that flows through that company. No money, no salaries. So why would we wish for our companies to not have money? Right?
So we could ask or advise agile coaches to start getting more involved in product development. In the old ways, products and features that showed up to us. They showed up to us and say, here are the features that we need. So maybe we need to get more upstream and be in those conversations.
Promotion.
They're actually happening.
So product promotion. Not even feature, like promotion, like who are the customers, what are their needs, what are they saying, did we do statistical analysis, did we do empathy interviews with them, right? Did we test out 3-5 MVPs? What is the feedback, what's the main feature that they like, right? What's the need that they have that we haven't discovered yet? So for example, one of the most interesting cases that I ever saw was with a fintech startup. It was actually an insurtech startup, and they were building this nice product. They started from I think a 50-page process document that one of the founders of the company created, and they wanted to sell the product to the big insurance guys. And the interesting thing is they did a lot on automating all the insurance stuff, but the interesting thing was that their need was a secure way to upload documents, because before people would send them via email, via WhatsApp, all sorts of channels, and they couldn't they couldn't control the security, the safety, GDPR, etc. Right? So that was the leading feature, and that's why they managed to sign, I think, 4 or 5 of the biggest insurance companies in the UK in a matter of a year or something like that, right? But that's the key. Like, talk to the customers, see what they are telling you about the product, and then lead with that. There was a guy that said, if you sell to a man, describe what he'll get. If you sell to a woman, tell her how she will feel after she will get your product, right? So try to adapt to your type of customer, and figure out, okay, what are the customer segments. The better the messaging, the marketing, the positioning, the better your income will be. By your income, I mean your product's income, right? So it's really important to kind of understand business, and understand the business language, and understand what's the impact of what you are doing in the agile teams, and how does that impact translate into actual cash, right? Because that's when you can actually connect the dots between what I do day to day and the profit line that I look at the end of the year.
You're referring right now to the outcome measurement, right? Your own value to cost and return on capital.
Mm-hmm.
How can you prove that your presence is making money for the business?
Yes, exactly. So unless you can connect the dots between what you do daily and the value to cost or return on capital, then you're not worth your salt, as they say. You know.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So point 2 is technical agility. So basically, you can't be a really good coach if you don't understand what an engineer feels, or what a tester feels, or what a business analyst feels, right? So you need to kind of get into their work. You need to spot problems. You need to be good at extreme programming and DevOps. And by good, I don't mean you need to be doing it yourself, but you need to be smart enough to understand when people are doing when they are working with anti-patterns, right? Let me give you an example. If you see hard-coded variables in a configuration file, maybe you stay with the team once and they are doing their release process, and then you see that somebody's manually modifying some stuff instead of having the pipeline go from one environment to another to another to another. That's an anti-pattern, right? So actually it was a conversation that I think I had 2 weeks ago with a DevOps guy. I was telling him, look, I want the release to be promoted from environment to environment. He was like, well, we can't do that. All right, what's stopping us? And then he's showing me this configuration file. It was a YAML file. And I see all these hard-coded URLs, passwords, etc. And I'm like, that's not right.
We can start there.
Yeah, that's not right. They should be environment variables. So boom, that's the key. You need to be smart enough to figure it out and to kind of understand a little bit about what coding means. A little bit. By a little bit, I mean a little bit. You don't have to do it for years, but you have to be, in software development enough to understand what duplication means, right? Just normal stuff, hard coding, etc. So these are things that are about the work, right? And so basically, if you want to reduce cost, you're looking at these two things in software development. It's extreme programming and DevOps. These are the only two things that are going to really reduce the cost for you. And then you can have some opportunities to increase team efficiency by using AI. But the biggest, like in my estimation, 60 to 70% of the optimization will come from here.
I think over the years, we've gotten away from the technical excellence that started this whole Scrum thing, right? With the extreme programming, with refactoring and paired programming. The basic skills needed there have just been put to the wayside because, like you said earlier, the focus has been on speed, which also reduces quality, and quality can stay consistent if we apply extreme programming.
Yep, agreed. And DevOps. Right. So for people that are not familiar with DevOps or extreme programming, basically there are multiple agile methods, frameworks. Basically, this is a framework, and this is more of a movement / method, right? But this framework also has some agile software development craftsmanship aspects, like you were saying, test-driven development, pair programming, refactoring. And this one This one actually started in 2011, something like that. So previously we had developers versus operations, and basically developers needed to release features, operations needed to keep the production environment stable, so they would always fight, and operations would fight to delay putting features into production because it would destabilize the environment. And that's when the DevOps movement started to take root. By 2015, it was actually a full-on movement, and it started to become like an automation process of automation, let's say, movement of the release process. So basically, people were not only mending production, putting files from there to there, they were starting to build these tools that they would publish, and developers would actually start to create the environments themselves by only using configuration files. And basically, this is what you should expect from your team. You should expect them to use some configurations and some things that the infrastructure / production teams provide them, and there should be almost no manual intervention in the promotion of the release from environment to environment.
Would you say that DevOps, I've read that DevOps is not just an implementation, it's a mindset, it's a cultural shift. So you have Agile, that was a cultural shift, the DevOps transformation, now we're going through an AI transformation, and companies have not really shown themselves to be adept at transforming their cultures.
Well, let's put it this way. The best definition for culture that I've ever heard was from a friend of mine, and he heard it from someone else. This is how we do things here.
Yes, sir.
That's culture.
I've heard that definition.
Right? So it's one of the best, right? Because it shows that we are accountable for everything. Like, even as coaches, like the culture is a product of also our interaction with the teams. If we are not able to influence the teams, if we are not able to show them value in what Agile brings, then of course they will reject it, and of course we will have almost zero impact on the culture. So unfortunately, people focus a lot on the culture, and they don't focus on the stuff that really brings value. I was talking to AI, and we were kind of searching for things to post. And he was asking me, or it was asking me for experiences. And one of the toughest experiences that I've had in my coaching career was when I implemented Scrum, and the people in the team who I thought would be helped by this implementation told me point blank, hey, this is not for us, this is for management. We get why people that are not in the weeds are interested in us having a backlog, putting it in Jira, etc., but it doesn't help us at all. So the way I've broken this, let's say, wall, because I think most coaches actually feel this wall, is actually by going into the technical stuff. Right? So when you go into the technical stuff, you get the respect, and people understand that you know what you're talking about. If you're going to be vague, if you're going to say, we don't have space for innovation, the guy that's working at 10 p.m. to release a feature that they are late with will tell you, shove your innovation.
I'm not interested. Yes.
What do you mean innovation? Can't you see we're killed with work? Right?
Yes.
and that's the point. It's not only what what you see in the backlog in the planning, but other actors are also circling the drain of the team. They're also giving them work. Their peers are contacting them, losing 2-3 hours talking to somebody. There's an initiative in the organization on environment stability. They have to create something, etc., etc. There's all sorts of stuff that's going on in a team's life, and you can't expect things to be perfect, but you need to be good enough to influence them, to influence the people.
Yes, sir.
And you do that by showing them that you're good at this craftsmanship stuff and that they have something to learn from you. If they don't have anything to learn from you, then why are you there? Are you just eating their budget? Are you just a leech? What's going on? And you'll see that from best performers. Like high performers will especially treat you passively aggressively if you don't have any technical agility acumen.
Okay, you are showing this next section here. Where are you right now?
Yeah,
these are questions for the Agile Coach.
So the last part is the value to cost and the return on capital, right? These are, in my opinion, the metrics that any Agile coach should own. Like, all right, don't expect to do it from the first month after you've seen this document, but start working towards it, right? Start figuring out, how do I measure it? Who would have this information? Or how would I get this information? Start building, the pieces brick by brick. And also understanding leading and lagging indicators. I think we talked about this in other sessions, but basically there are some things that are going to influence your value to cost and your return on capital, and these are usually the things here and here, right? All right. I'll move on to this one because you seemed interested in this. All right, so I thought it would be useful if coaches would do like a small self-diagnostic. Just nothing fancy, just 5 questions. But I think these questions are relevant, and I think that if somebody would manage to answer yes to all of these, I think they would be on a really, really good track. I would say they would qualify as an elite coach. Elite Agile Coach. So, one business metric that you personally moved in the last 6 months. This is key. Like, what is the business metric, the business outcome that you're following, right? What are you just sitting in Scrum meetings all day? Or are you actually doing something, contributing something to the organization? I think it's important for a lot of coaches to really start thinking about their metric. If it's just give trainings to 10 teams, then that's not a business metric. I'm sorry, but AI will do that in the next 1 year. It can do that now, but people just don't program it yet for this. Not yet, but I can definitely program Claude right now to teach me Agile. I can give it a prompt and it will teach me Agile. I'm 100% sure. All right, the second question is, does the engineering team ask for your opinion on technical decisions? So this shows me whether you've been able to demonstrate that you understand craftsmanship, that you understand how they should, the vision, right? How they should be thinking about their work. If they're not asking you questions, then it means you didn't bring value on that dimension. We talked about straight-through processing rate, right? So do you know your team's straight-through processing rate? So how many flows, right, are automated versus how many flows have at least one manual step in it, right? So just look through the software delivery lifecycle and just figure it out. For example, the testing part should not be manual. Just giving you a heads up.
Sir.
The releasing
How many
part
steps does it take to get from development to production that are automated without human intervention?
Yeah, exactly. That's the point. The other question is, have you ever contributed to a business case that got funding approved? Right? If you haven't, get involved. Start working with people on their business cases. Understand what a business case implies. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at it, feel it.
So again, this is back to coaches getting further upstream.
Yeah, of course.
Not just focused on the technical development, but the product development and the business as well.
Yeah, exactly. And the last part is, can you explain your impact in a board meeting in 2 minutes with numbers? So if you feel that you need to blah blah your way out of a board meeting, then you're doing it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy. Just do what the first 4 questions ask you, and then you'll have the answer for question number 5. So
even working through the first 4 will get you the reputation and the reliability and credibility to even be in a board meeting.
Yeah, that's the point.
Yes, sir.
And that's the point. So if you answered yes to everything, I think you're elite. So I would definitely recommend that you record your results in a case study. I think the Agile community will benefit from more and more case studies from people that have achieved system changes, right? It's not about teaching agility. It's about changing the systems that you are in. And sometimes these systems are very, very hard to change, but that's the point. And that's why people will pay other people, right? Because some things are very hard and they don't have the time or the skills to do it. That's why you're valuable as an Agile coach. If you answered yes to 4 of these, you're close. I think that you're probably 1 step away from achieving the status. 2 and 3 means you have instincts. You've done some steps, which is great. It means you understand that there's something out there more than just giving out Scrum trainings. And then the last one is 0 or 1. So basically you've got work to do. So it's fixable, but you do need hard work and consistency, right? So the roadmap, that's the last part. How do you like it until now?
I like the concepts that you laid out at the top and the self-assessment for a coach to understand what they need to satisfy, what they need to improve about themselves. For myself, it would absolutely be more business acumen. I came up as an Agile coach through the development track.
Yeah.
I've not spent any time over in the business side. So that's something that I can improve for myself.
Perfect. All right. So it's already kind of laying out a clear path for you, it seems.
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, so that's the point. I think that you're familiar with the concept of E-shape, right?
Which letter is that? Which one?
E. From Easter.
Yes,
a Christian holiday.
I've heard it. It was the T. I've heard the M, and now the E.
I don't know
what are some of those?
I don't know the M. But the E-shape is like you have in-depth knowledge into multiple domains. So think Elon Musk, for example. He's like an E-shaped person. So he has good deep insight into more industries, right? And inside those industries, he understands marketing, he understands technology, he understands business, right? So that's exactly what you need to do in order to become very, very valuable, right? You need to become an E-shaped person. All right. I'll take you through the roadmap, and then I think we have like 10 minutes left. So 7 steps. Basically, the foundation is always going to be Scrum, maybe Scrum and Kanban, but Scrum events, roles, definition of done, user stories, acceptance criteria, and planning poker. Basically, I would say these are the basics. If you ask me.
Yes, those are fundamentals, just like you said.
But this is not the destination, right? This is what we need before the real work begins. It's like the baseline. And then tooling, you set up Jira or a workflow management tool, you make the work visible. So again, you cannot improve what you cannot see. Third, log technical debt. So this was one of the biggest insights in the last few months. And this was the insight that actually helped me break through the invisible wall that I was telling you earlier about. Like, log all repeatable work. Just create an epic or multiple epics, depending on the life cycle step you're working on. And map these, name them, put them in the backlog, and then you'll see that most teams have never done such a step. They are complaining about things, they are annoyed about things, but they never, take the time, or they don't even have an idea of logging them, putting them in a map somewhere. The fourth step, I think, is the toughest one, because this is where you actually have to influence people a lot. So set aside time to automate tech debt. Or maybe it's the wrong phrasing, but to automate manual steps.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, that one would sell easier, automating manual steps.
Yeah. And it's a negotiation, and it's the hardest you'll have, because people are going to complain that they work too much already, and this is adding work on their plate. So
in the past I've worked with my product owners, and I've actually made a deal with them. It's like, for every 5 stories that come through, we're going to give you 4 feature stories, and we're going to take 1 of those stories to handle our tech debt.
Yeah.
So I've always persuaded them to say, the more tech debt we can do now, the faster the features will flow in the future. So that's one way I was able to coach that repeatable. The tech debt.
Yeah, the way I coached this was I created an epic, and I asked the team to just log technical debt every time they needed to create a technical debt item. And at first there were 10, and then they multiplied, they went to 30, and at 72 the product owner on their own asked us actually, hey, don't you want to take some of the technical debt, because I feel it's growing too much. But just making it visible, right? It's going to create such an impact on people. All right. Step 5 is restaff if needed, and I think this is something that only elite agile coaches do, and I don't think normal agile coaches actually look at this. Like, do you have a DevOps engineer in your team? Do you have an automated tester in your team? Is your automated testing pipeline servicing you in the sense of it's providing 70 to 80% confidence that your new release will be a qualitative one and you'll have no escape defects? If not, what's stopping you? Right? And if it's the fact that the pipeline takes too long, then maybe your test strategy is not that good in the first place. Maybe you need to rethink your test strategy and rethink how you are going to provide this 70 to 80% accuracy without spending 3 days running an automated pipeline. step 6, and I think that this is actually crucial. I mean, if you don't hit step 6, then you'll never have business agility. The business agility charter. So basically, map all initiatives with their value to cost ratio. Right. I think this is an important step, and then you'll upgrade this with return on capital, but this will be very hard to get.
Yes. In the past, I did a strategy once with a cost per point in getting the daily cost of the development team.
Yes.
And then just saying from here, you can evaluate how much work the team is doing. But to get the true cost, you would have to calculate in business expenses.
Yep.
You would have to calculate in the salaries of those other POs, PMs, and business people as well. So that would make it a tough conversation.
It's a tough conversation. But nevertheless, it's a conversation that you need to have, and, be like water. Slowly erode the mountain. Slowly erode. Just keep at it. Just be like the honey badger, man. You know the honey badger, right?
Yes. Toughest, meanest thing on the planet.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So this is your proof document, and make it visible, make it real, update it, work with people around it. I didn't see any software that can actually do this, but anyway, it's an important part of the work. Maybe you can do it with Power BI, reporting. And then the last part is reflect and prove. Follow up on your automation, your feature delivery, your benefits realization in retros, town hall sessions, right? This is where this gets documented, right? So your elite status is proven here, basically. So that's basically it. What did you think, man? What did you think? How was
it's concise. It gives you the guiding principles to start off with, right? The outcome measurement, your technical adaptability, and the first one, your business acumen. I like the self-assessment, having coaches look at themselves, right? We spend too much time coaching other people, right? Some self-reflection will definitely help. And then the 7 steps to prove that the things that you're doing are actually having that value. I like it. It's concise. Sir, when you post this, I was just thinking about the business agility concept in general. If you go out to Amazon, you can see a list of books. But perhaps when you post this out, if you could include 2 or 3 books that you would recommend that people read about business agility, I think that could be an added value there.
I will definitely think about that. Weirdly enough,
because
I would recommend Hormozy's books.
You.
Yeah,
you have all those books behind you. I have all these books behind me.
You haven't seen my Audible and Kindle.
Your Audible is bigger.
And Kindle, man. But oddly enough, I don't want to ruin the surprise, but I would definitely recommend any Agile coach out there to read Alex Hormozy's books. So 100 Million Offers, 100 Million Marketing, and I think 100 Million Business is the last book. I haven't read the last one, but I've read the first 2. So I would definitely recommend you read this, especially on this side, and Extreme Programming Explained. I think that
yes, the Kent Beck book.
Actually, if we make a list, I'll write it down here.
Okay.
So
yes,
business
included in the post. Business acumen. Oh, business acumen as well.
So business acumen, 100 million offers, and I think it's 100 million marketing. No, leads, 100 million leads.
Okay.
So this is Alex Hormozy.
Oh, Alex Hermosi. Is that the gentleman with the big beard?
The gentleman with the big beard. He shaved it apparently right now. All right.
Oh,
so
okay.
This is the first part. The technical agility. Extreme programming explained. And I think the Phoenix project.
Yes, a classic DevOps book.
Is a nice one, yeah. And on outcome measurement. I think it's how to measure everything.
Okay, Mr. Hubbard.
Yeah.
Douglas Hubbard book. Okay.
Yeah. So these would be it. By the way, this is why I like having these sessions with you. I always get to create something new, man.
Excellent. Well, sir, we are close to time. I always want to thank you for taking the time to teach me, right? And by putting this out, you're adding value to the market and to the industry as well. So for that, I thank you twice.
Thank you also, man. It's always fun to talk to you, and thank you for being so open, and yeah, thank you for criticizing my work early.
Actionable feedback.
Actionable feedback, man. But yeah, I think it's cool for us to really upgrade the standards of agile coaching. I think that's something that the community needs. And okay, AI has taken a beating right now in the past 2 months, and it's going to take some time for it to get back on the horse. But agile coaching will be squashed by AI if we don't step up our game.
Yes, sir. I believe that's the sentiment out there in the market, is that AI is washing out the people who just claim to be agile coaches.
Yeah.
And exactly. Now it's given more focus on business outcomes, so that, to your point, that we need to up our game and or maybe even reinvent ourselves a little bit.
Yeah.
Away from certifications and ceremonies to more business-driven outcomes.
Yeah, exactly. Great summary, man. Great summary. We'll end it here.
Sir.
So, thank you to the people that watched us, if there's any. I think there are. In the last sessions there were. So thank you guys for watching us. Hopefully this was interesting for you and it gave you some guidance. I will be posting this on LinkedIn in the future, and have an excellent Saturday.
Excellent, sir. Thank you very much, Ovi. Enjoy your day.
Thank you also, man. Have a great day. Bye.